afternoon, I'm Sam. I hope you're well. Tonight I'm going to discuss the constructivist theory, its key characteristics, strengths and limitations, along with my values and beliefs and the reasons as to why I feel the constructivist approach promotes effective teaching and learning experiences. Now, constructivism is a learning theory supporting the value that children learn best when they're engaged and actively taking part, shaping and constructing their own learning and building on existing learning foundations and experiences. Throughout our lives, we're learning from our parents, peers and environments. We already have our own unique understanding of the world when we start school and our place in it due to prior experiences. Now, constructivists believe that all of this prior learning is important, that it needs to be taken into consideration, acknowledged and built on. O'Donnell, 2012, agrees that teachers need to provide experiences to allow students to build on that current knowledge of the world and social groups. Bruner, in 1990, also had the opinion as constructivism enables the individual to make sense of the information for themselves. Now, there are two forms of constructivism, psychological and social. Psychological, or cognitive, relates to how a learner learns best. We're all different. We all have our different ways in which we prefer to learn. Social constructivism focuses on the necessary social processes required for a learner to build knowledge. Jean-Pierre and Vygotsky believe that social interaction is a necessary component in enabling an effective learning experience, that children learn from each other, the environment, through observation, discovery, collaboration and discussing their ideas, formulating new levels of understanding. Collaboration allows students to interact, assist each other verbally and emotionally, to learn, model problem-solving skills from each other. Interaction with knowledgeable people from the community or the teacher is required to link previous knowledge to current experiences, allowing the construction of new ideas, causing a deeper level of understanding to develop. This belief was also shared by Jerome Bruner, who called such support and guidance internal scaffolding. Now, Vygotsky believed that a student can practice or learn a new skill and perform it better if supported by a motivated expert, offering suggestive ideas and increasing the student's own problem-solving skills. Constructivists believe that the teacher's role is to actively facilitate the student's learning process through monitoring, providing support and asking thought-provoking questions and providing expert advice and guidance. Encouraging students to have the confidence to face and solve challenges whilst allowing them to feel safe and supported. Through asking these open-ended questions and also through observation, the teacher can expose any areas of weakness in understanding at that exact point in time, enabling the provision of further learning experiences to clarify these misunderstandings. This way, no child is left behind. Rather than children listening to a lecture and being told how to solve a problem, they're instead actively involved in their learning using a hands-on approach, or as Howie and Baru 2000 described this, learning by doing. Students are encouraged to learn by carrying out the task, increasing and enhancing their problem-solving skills and abilities by building on previous knowledge and experiences. Goose, 2010, agrees that active practices such as experimenting, investigating and problem-solving bring depth to children's learning and encourage them to ask questions rather than only looking for answers. Rather than just memorising numbers or facts, by actively searching for answers, the student is having to think, explore and make sense of the problem or task at hand. By making the process personalised and meaningful, they're actually improving their cognitivity, furthering their understanding and knowledge. We can see in front of me here the National Training Laboratories Learning Pyramid. It shows the average learning retention rates, and it shows that students learn more through doing rather than listening to instruction alone. Now, if we look at the research provided by Merlot, this also supports this. Active learning improves students' understanding and retention of information. It can be effective in developing higher-order cognitive skills such as problem-solving and critical thinking. Here we have Bloom's revised taxonomy of learning. The pyramid represents a hierarchy of thinking processes, skills and understanding. By creating more in-depth knowledge, we actually stimulate surface learning and understanding, and working through each level, we develop the means and skills to establish deep learning. Now, Bruner in 1966 referred to this as discovery learning, making sense, remembering and applying what has been learned. Now, the strengths of this theory are as follows. Children are active and not passive recipients in a teacher-led classroom. They're discovering their own learning. Constructivism promotes and values each student's heritage and previous learning experiences, and Anthony and Walshaw, 2007, describe it as linking what they know and what they need to learn. Parents in the community are encouraged to share their cultures and histories with the class, increasing the children's respectful awareness and understanding of the backgrounds of their peers. This reinforcing Goal 2 of the Melbourne Declaration. It creates a better relationship between the children's caregivers and the school. Research in studies such as that compiled by Houghtonville and Conway in 2007 found that a learning partnership with families and parent involvement in the child's schooling actually improves success rates in learning and student achievement. Now, the weaknesses. A student learns best when they feel safe, supported and confident to ask questions. This takes time to develop a supportive environment in the class and build confidence. Especially nowadays, classrooms are overcrowded, making it very difficult to create a happy and safe learning environment. Also, the curriculum's wide. A teacher only has a limited amount of time to impart relevant skills and knowledge to the students. Now, Brown and Rose, and that was in 95, found that many teachers lack the necessary time and some don't actually feel confident in teaching a class where they might not know the answers to the questions being asked. Some children may not have had any prior experience of having to take turns, listen respectfully to others. They might lack these essential skills. This would make group work very, very difficult. Now, I believe children learn better when they're motivated, engaged and supported to problem solve and make their own decisions on how they learn best. Before moving to Australia, I used to be a social worker. I supported children from troubled backgrounds in their classroom, many of whom were living in a therapeutic care homes. One little girl, Philippa, she'd spent most of her early years socially deprived and neglected. She didn't speak a lot, was shy to answer questions, and her writing and reading skills were poor. All of the groups in that class were of mixed ability, and the teacher said that it helped all of the children to learn from each other. She was right. Within months, I watched and listened to Philippa speaking to her peers, learning from them, speaking to them, learning new skills for herself from them. The teacher gave them an activity where they had to design a bridge out of sellotape and paper. Now, she asked them to make the bridge as strong as possible, strong enough to hold a book. And she asked the children to think about how they could make the paper strong, to collaborate together and problem solve in their groups. The children were motivated, set to work swapping ideas and advice, and I watched as Philippa's confidence grew. She offered her opinions, tried out ideas, and learned through actively solving her own problems with feedback from the others. The teacher watched on throughout the lesson, asking motivated, open questions and giving tips, but never actually taking part. Now, I feel that diversity is on the rise. Teachers should be promoting inclusion, providing supported learning experience for students to successfully collaborate together, embracing differences and similarities, building on their existing knowledge, especially nowadays when diversity is on the rise, intensifying learning and understanding of the world. The constructivist theory has greatly impacted today's teaching. Now, in order to do this and listen to the Melbourne Declaration that we must embrace the ever-increasing diverse needs of the student population, we need to allow the students to be active participants in their own education, encouraging them to ask questions, taking previous experiences into account and building on these with further experiences, encouraging critical thinking to scaffold empowering creative abilities needed to confidently make decisions, to become independent learners who are able to generate solutions and take initiative in later life, allowing them to make sense of their own learning. Thank you for listening.